So I'm going to talk about the just horrifying experience I had a few days ago. So I'm living in a tent, and when it rains, it's a flood zone, and it's just not safe. I shouldn't be there, right? But it's the only place I have. I've written many articles, and actually I have 500 videos showing how dangerous these shelters are for women. I mean, incredibly dangerous. Like, it's safer being in a tent that's flooded than to be in any of the shelters, at least in Oakland and Berkeley area. And I'll go more into that later. But I went to the hospital. I also have diabetes. I went to the hospital because I had nowhere to go, and my sugars were out of control. They were at 450, which is very high. And so the hospital, this is Highland Hospital in Oakland, the hospital admitted me and I think just gave me one shot of insulin or something. And then at 1 a.m. they came in and said, now we're discharging you. And I said, but I have nowhere to go. I'm homeless. I have nowhere to go. Well, we're still discharging. You have to wait till the morning. And in the morning, the social worker will, put you in medical respite care. I'm like, okay. So they kicked me out. My sugar's still very high. I'm 56. And I had to lie down in the lobby, just on the floor, waiting for the social worker. Then around 6 a.m., the security guard starts kicking me with his foot and says, you have to get up. You have to get up. And he was incredibly violent and nasty. You have to get up. You can't lie down here on the lobby floor. The nurse told me that this is where I should be, and that, no, well, she was wrong. You need to get up. And he was just violent and nasty. So I get up, and, and I could tell my sugars were really high, and I said, I need to be readmitted. And so they kind of logged me back in, and my sugars were at 380, 390. I mean, they shouldn't have discharged me with sugars that high. I'm incredibly ill, and they didn't treat me. So I'm literally lying on the floor of the intake room because I'm just so fucking sick. My sugars are so high, and they didn't treat me. And eventually, a social worker told me that because I hadn't been taking my insulin, they weren't the medical respite, and this is BACS, by the way. BACS is criminal, Bay Area Community Services. Fully documented them as criminal on my YouTube channel, Jody Schiller Abolitionist. So the BACS Respite Center refused to take me because I wasn't compliant with taking my insulin, which is crazy. I'm living in a tent. It's not that I don't want to take my insulin. I just don't have any method for storing it, for caring for myself. I mean, it's like a catch-22. So apparently the respite center wouldn't take me because I wasn't, quote unquote, compliant with my meds because I'm homeless. And so basically the hospital just kicked me to the streets because my sugars were at 400. So by the way, none of this is legal. There's laws called EMTALA laws, which say you have to stabilize someone before you can discharge them. And none of these hospitals are following EMTALA laws. And I fully documented that. If you go onto my Substack page, I've documented over and over how none of these hospitals are following EMTALA. They're not stabilizing patients. They're just kicking them to the street in extreme medical distress. So anyway, I could use a lawyer for that because these are billion-dollar cases. I mean, just deals. Another time when this happened, my sugar was at 650, and they just kicked me to the street. And I actually reported them to every single watchdog organization and never heard back from the watchdog organizations. So these are billion-dollar cases. If some lawyer wants to make a quick $1 billion, help me fight this. But I mean, nightmare. Endless, ongoing nightmare. That's what my life is.